Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to Stream of Blood. I am your keeper and host, Jared Logan, and this is a show where we play tabletop role-playing games with hilarious writers, actors, performers, and all of our games have a horror or mayhem or violent adventure theme. And I'm really happy to welcome you all today to a new series we're starting. It's going to be every Sunday at this time. It's called the Neptune Society, and we are playing 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. This is, without a doubt, my favorite game of all time, and I love this edition. But to make it a little interesting, to make it slightly more unique, we are going to be playing in the 19th century, in the Victorian or Gaslight era. And you might notice that the name is the Neptune Society. All of our adventures are going to be adventures dealing with the sea or a nautical theme, at least for the time being. We have all kinds of plans going forward to expand that world into all kinds of places in the Victorian world. But that is sort of an overview of what we're going to be doing on this particular series. We're going to have all kinds of different guests. They're going to rotate in and out. You're going to see some of your favorite people, I hope. They're definitely going to be some of my favorite people. So be sure to tune in every Sunday at 1:30. We're going to be right here doing this series, the Neptune Society. And also, if you're checking out other things about the show, I just did an interview. On a podcast called Roll for Persuasion, where we talk a lot about this stream and about role-playing in general. And the main thing I do in that interview is I list off every book I read about game mastering that I thought actually helped me game master a little bit. So check it out. It's like on all of the places you listen to podcasts. It's called Roll for Persuasion. I want to thank that show for having me on, and I hope you guys check that out and enjoy it. All right, let's get into the game. Let's bring out our guests. I'm so excited to have this first player. He is a good pal. He was in our Dark Ages Cthulhu game, which was just the previous 2 Sundays, and he's a writer for Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, and has done a million other things. He's one of my favorite players, and especially Call of Cthulhu players. Please welcome Humphrey Ker, everybody.
Hi. Oh,
hi, pal. How are you?
Red face. I'm good. I'm well. Thank you.
You look warm. You have a warm color palette.
I have a warm glow. It's the way I roll.
Can you tell me a little bit about the character you'll be playing today?
Yes, certainly. So the character I'm playing is Dr. John McCorkadale. He is a naval surgeon. He's the ship surgeon on HMS Conclusion, which I believe is the ship that we are going to be traveling around on in today's adventure. He's rather dour, sort of approaching middle age. He's been in the Navy since he was 8 years old, which is quite common in those days, as a ship's boy. But then he went ashore and got his medical degree from the University of Edinburgh. And he's not, but I am very much looking forward to tangling with beings of unthinkable cosmic horror that may or may not tear him to shreds.
Right. Or just swim rolls.
Yes.
Those could come up too.
A lot of swim rolls.
I will say I'm so happy that you could join us for this, Humphrey, because this is one of your favorite eras, like sort of the 19th century. This is a little post the Great Age of Sail, but it's sort of right in there still in that sweet spot, right?
Yeah. I'm a big Jack Aubrey head.
I hope we can make your master and commander dreams come true. Yeah. And I hope you'll also feel free to interrupt me when I am horribly factually inaccurate.
I will certainly be correcting you on the difference between a top stunsail and a main gallant yard.
And that's what today is going to be all about. The different mechanical workings of masts and rigging.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Well, I hope everybody's ready for that. I'm going to bring out our next guest. This guy, it's my first time playing with him, but I know he's an incredible player. And he has been on iZombie. You may know him from that. An awesome show. Or you may know him from his Ross Dress for Less commercial, which is really how I came to know him and love him. Please welcome Robert Buckley, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Jared, ask me where I got this shirt.
Where'd you get the shirt?
Ross.
Was that your line in the commercial?
No, I didn't even have a line. I just got really excited that I paid less for clothing and that I could go out dancing with the money I saved.
I'm so glad we're able to bring that kind of level of thespian skill to our little stream here today.
I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude that you brought me onto a show set during the Victorian era in England with two actors who speak with a beautiful British accent, while I can't do an accent to save my life.
Yes.
I feel like you set me up for success.
Well, I'm going to do a stupid accent that is not mine. So if that's any consolation.
Yeah. I mean, look, Robert, I mean, because you're a pro. Accents aren't about accuracy. They're about committing. At least it's in terms of being a game master. I know that's true. You just fully commit to it.
I thought that part of Calico Fidak, my character, I thought that part of his backstory was that he, at a young age, got kicked by a passing horse in town.
Yeah.
And when he awoke, he suddenly had this bizarre non-accent.
I think that can be canon. I'm writing it down.
Please do.
Kicked by a horse. I think he has nightmares about it, the trauma. Can you tell us a little bit more about him?
I sure can. So Calico Fidak, he is at a very young age, just was disillusioned with life and realized that if he wanted a happy life, he was going to have to take it for himself. So he resorted to thievery and criminal activity. And by the age of 7, full-blown career criminal. He was good at it too. However, as he started to get a bit older, he realized if I don't have an actual occupation and people just see me walking around the town, not poor or starving, going to raise some suspicions. So wisely, he thought, I'm going to duck into the Royal Marines, pretend to be a soldier, do the deal, and keep up my side hustle of thievery. Not to mention, I can steal while I'm on the ship.
Yes.
Sell from port to port. It's a good racket.
Sure.
Yes, there were quite a few of these military fellows who had some side hustles, and that's even probably true today. Calico, he makes a little bit of extra dough for his purse by thieving things on ship and on the places that they call port of call, right?
Yeah, and as a criminal, he's perpetually a loner, with the exception of his one true and only friend, which is his pet rat, Jacob. So Jacob is either nestled in one of his coat pockets, or if they're just walking about town at a port, he just, like a parrot would, he's just hanging out on the shoulder. And he always confers with Jacob before making any big decisions.
The thieving plus carrying a rat around and openly. I mean, he's got to be a popular guy on the ship.
I tried to give him a name that people would just like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not get killed off in the first 15 minutes. I'm doing everything I can to hedge my bets.
Well, I can't wait to get to know this. I hope you're not offended if I say creep. I can't wait. I can't wait to see him in the game. I have to end this sausage party and bring in our final player. She is just an expert role player. You may have seen her on Dimension 20, where she's played all kinds of games. She's also a writer for Rick and Morty. She's so funny and so talented. Please welcome Siobhan Thompson, everybody.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, Siobhan.
Hello.
Did you dye your hair blue for our nautical theme?
Yes, that's definitely why I did it, and not because we've been in quarantine so long that my roots were looking insane.
Right, my roots are a mess too right now.
Jared's hair is naturally purple, and he dyes it to a silver fox gray to fool the people that he's not.
Some might say a mousy brown.
I think that if it goes a little longer, it'll just go full Guy Fieri, and frosted tips will start appearing.
Oh boy!
Hell yeah! I like this for you. I feel like this is going to be good for your brand.
Yeah.
I'm a huge party guy, a party animal, and I love flavor.
Guys, can I ask?
Oh yes.
I'm so sorry. Is my microphone still very quiet, or can people hear me?
You sound lovely.
You sound good.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. People have been complaining in the chat.
Oh really?
Get out of it,
yes,
chat.
quiet.
Get out of here.
People saying, "Oh, anyway, never mind."
Well, we'll take a look at that, people in the chat. But for right now, I can hear Humphrey great, and I think he sounds wonderful. Don't make him feel self-conscious about it. Maybe it's just his natural politeness that's making him just a little lower than the rest of us screaming Americans here.
I shall project.
Siobhan, tell us a little about your character before we begin today.
I'm playing Miss Lucy Hawthorne. She is a governess on her way to, where are we headed to? The Spice Islands?
You are headed to Indonesia and Australia.
Fantastic. So I think I'm heading to Java in Indonesia to be the governess of the King of Java in that very sort of cultural colonialist, let's raise the children with British standards and ideals.
Are you going to be in The King and I? Is that it, basically? Like a musical?
I've never heard of that. This is definitely not a rip-off of that. I don't know what you're talking about. You must have made that up.
I'm just looking forward to you bursting into song.
There's another
out of danger.
There's another aspect to the character, but do you want to keep that secret or do you want to share it now?
I think.
What's that?
I would say let's keep that secret.
Very good. We shall. Then we shall.
Seems more to tell later. I am but a simple governess.
Well then, since we know who is here, who's playing, and who they are playing, let's begin. Let's begin with a bit of a framing narrative.
Ooh.
There's a tavern. Oh, this is the beginning of the game. Ready? Here we go. There is a tavern in Limehouse where sailors go to tell their tales. Not too far from the wharf, where the scent of fish and blood chokes the air, you'll see the sign of the trident and know you're near. On this very night, in the room behind the room in the back, a multifarious rabble of explorers, whalers, smugglers, and adventuresses has gathered. Young men from good families huddle in dark corners, adjusting their disguises. These are people the sea has taken, then coughed up again. Even now it draws them back to her briny embrace. The man chairing the meeting stands at a lectern in front of a grotesque caricature of a Marrow, the merman of Celtic lore. Victoria is Queen of England, and Triton is King of the Sea. This meeting of the Neptune Society is called to order. Now, who among you has a tale to tell? The esteemed company begin banging their mugs of grog against the old wooden table. Who, they echo. Who will give a story to the sea? And the man at the lectern looks out at all of you. And who has a story for us?
I'll tell you a story. If you'll give me a glass of grog to wet my whistle, I'll tell you a story that'll make your hair stand on end.
They hand you a big mug of grog.
Everybody sees an elderly man rise in the corner. He's bearded. He has a lot of grey in his beard, rather a lot more than I do now at this stage. And he has a terrible scar all down one side of his face. And he's like, I'll tell you the story of the conclusion. Back in the year of 37, we just rounded the Cape, heading to the South Seas, towards New Zealand, Australia, Indonesia. We'd spent 4 months sailing out from Plymouth around the Cape through the worst seas I've ever remembered in 40 years, man and boy at sea. We're carrying supplies and passengers to Her Majesty. At that stage, the old king had only just died. We got used to using that name, Her Majesty, before the end of the adventure. We'd been more used to it than we had any idea. We'd had terrible storms, and our passage around the Cape had cost us the lives of 16 members of the crew. We were just a fifth rate, a 32-gun frigate. 16 men was a sizable proportion of the ship's company. And we thought the worst of our troubles were over. But that was before we passed into the Pacific. And things took a turn for the worse.
And now we go through the magical flashback. We go to a fog-heavy sea, and we hear the creak of the conclusion as it plows through the water on a cool morning on the Pacific. The fog is thicker than a pea souper in Piccadilly. The morning she spotted. "Ship! Off the port bow!" cries the officer of the watch. Now, tell us where on the ship your character is. And since we've been having Dr. McCorkadale talk for a while, Siobhan, can you tell us where Lucy is?
I think Lucy is probably on the forecastle, looking out into the fog.
Oh, great! So when they yell out about the ship that they've spotted, Lucy can immediately give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh, great!
So in Call of Cthulhu, if anybody needs a reviewer, you just roll your percentile dice, 1 10's die and 1 1's die, and you see if you roll under your skill. Everyone's various skills have a percentage of 1 to 100 to see how good they are at that skill. So how did we do, Siobhan?
I did not. My spot hidden is 35, and I rolled a 44.
Well, Lucy,
I got my port and starboard mixed up, and I'm looking right to the right.
That's an easy mistake to make.
So this young woman is looking off the wrong end of the boat, and
and I can't remember which one is which.
Calico, Fidak, where are you when they shout that a boat has been spotted? And what would you like to do?
I am below deck in, I guess, the Navyman's quarters, just taking a stroll, seeing if anything has been left out, if maybe anybody's bunk hasn't been locked.
Interesting. Yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? You see that someone has left a personal item just in their little hammock. It looks like a cameo. It's like one of those like little silver pins with like an old-fashioned sepia tone like photograph in it of like a sort of a young woman, but she's like in the photo and in the way that those old Victorian photos looked.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do anything about that?
Is it shiny?
It's very shiny.
Well, then, yes, I am. I would like to look around the room just discreetly to see if there's anyone else around. Everybody's
running up onto the main deck because they've heard that this ship has been sighted.
Okay. I would like to scream. Was it starboard bow? Where was it? What was the announcement that we just shouted?
I think I said off the port bow. Yes,
okay.
Port.
So then I will echo that and be like, get to the port bow! And as everyone clears the room, I would like to take that cameo.
Okay. Yeah. So here's since you I actually wrote up a little rule for your character. When you see something valuable that you want to try not to steal, you need to make a sand roll. But in this particular case, you wanted to steal it. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you grab it and you slide it into your jacket. And that's where we'll leave you for right now. You've spent this time kind of going through your fellow sailors' things. Dr. McCorkadale, where are you on the ship? And what would you like to do when you hear about this ship?
Well, I believe at the time that I heard the cry from up on deck, I was down in the cockpit, which is the medical area that is my jurisdiction. And I was just doing a quick inventory of the various medical items that I was able to resupply last time we touched on land, which was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, some 6 weeks ago. And medical supplies are running relatively low. And I must confess they're running slightly lower as I quickly neck a shot of laudanum before locking it back into the cabinet, and then very well, I will. I quickly smooth my thing and put on my hanger hat and open the door to the cockpit and head up on deck.
And just to set the scene for our players and for our viewers at home, the type of ship we're talking about, it's all wood and rope. These are not the ships of 50 years hence that were powered by steam and things like that. There's not a lot of metal on these ships. Yes.
There she is. The conclusion.
Yes. A 3-master. Yes. Look there. There she is plying through the water. And so when Dr. McCorkadale gets to the main deck up top, would he like to look for the ship, or is he just kind of keeping an eye on the other sailors, or what is he doing?
I think so. This could be, well, it could be anything. It could be a prize. I don't know if we're at war with anyone at the moment, but maybe it's salvage if it's a ship that's lost all of its people. I rolled an 11, so I see it relatively effectively.
Oh yes, you see it very well, in fact. Okay, so you see it now, and it does not look like a ship of war. You can barely kind of make it out through the fog. Sometimes the fog rolls over it again and it disappears. It seems about the same size as your own, but it is not a British ship as far as you could tell. But you can point it out to anybody else. You can definitely point it out to Lucy, who's also up on deck with you, if you'd like. And anybody who sees it can make a history roll.
So I will, Miss Hawthorne, if you please. The port side of the ship is this way to the left.
Right. Yes. Of course. Yes. Thank you. Oh, a ship.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's what they mean when they say a sail has been spotted. Or he said a ship, didn't he?
See, thank you.
There's a lot of confusing language, nautical language, but ship for ship is a pretty straightforward one-to-one translation.
Yes, ship to ship. Got it.
That's right.
Lines are ropes, and port is left, and ship is a ship. I've got it.
That's correct, yes. I rolled a 9, which is a very good roll, but I only have 5 for history, so...
Are you kidding? Okay, so this brings us to, and Siobhan and Robert, note this. If you make a roll, almost make a roll, but you still fail it, you have two options, right? You can spend luck. Your sheet has a luck point kind of category, and you can spend luck points 1 for 1 to make that roll. And good rolls to use luck on are the ones where you fail them by like 4 or something like that. Because once the luck points go away, they don't come back, well, at least today in this session. Would you like to spend luck?
I will spend luck, yes. Indeed.
Okay, so you only needed 4 luck there. And I can't let you check the skill because you did miss it, but you spend 4 luck and you recognize that the ship is a Dutch merchant ship. You can tell by her lines. Really, you do? Well, that's useful. You know what, Siobhan? This doesn't necessarily pertain to speaking Dutch, but if you want to make a spot hidden roll now, you can maybe notice something on the side of the ship.
I'll give it a go. Ooh, I miss it by so far. I rolled a 71.
Okay. Another thing you can do when you miss a roll. Today. Yeah, no, it's okay. Another thing you can do when you miss a roll, and Robert, you'll need to know this too, is you can push the roll, meaning you roll it again, but if you fail it a second time, something bad happens. Ooh. As your keeper, I would not recommend you do it for a roll like this, which just seems like gathering information. But later, if you're running from a monster, jumping off the side of a ship or something, and you fail a roll, you might want to say, I'll push it and take the risk.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so you're all looking off the side of the ship, and does anybody else want to do anything else as they see this? Because the captain is now kind of gathering people on the main deck to kind of address everybody. Is anybody else going to?
Can I ask you something based off my spot hidden? What sort of state is the ship in?
That's a great question. So I'm going to let you know that the ship looks like it's like kind of like tilting to one side, like it's kind of, but it looks like it might be more of a problem with like the steering or something like that. Do you have mechanical repair as a skill?
I do not, no.
Okay.
Well, we've got 10% in it, but
you are welcome to try to roll that if you'd like. Then.
Why not?
Why not?
86.
Okay.
I trap my fingers in between a rope and a piece of wood on the stair. Fuck.
So the doctor tries to kind of ascertain, what's wrong with the ship, and he can't quite do it. But I can tell you that, it doesn't look like it's horribly damaged. It just looks like it's kind of like, tilted over to one side and kind of like at an odd angle, and that is all you can tell right now. The captain is now addressing everybody, and I think by now our friend Calico Fidak has arrived on the deck as well, along with his fellow Marines. And there's a big crew. Some of them have to stay below to kind of work their various positions, but the captain is addressing everybody. And he announces to the crew that they have a duty to investigate this ship. It looks to be in trouble. It looks to be like something's wrong with it. And they have a duty as, fellow citizens of the sea to rescue anyone aboard. And that's when one of the crew says, begging your pardon, Captain, but it might be a plague ship. And the captain, whose name is Captain Peter Cockburn, says that he realizes...
Coburn, very important.
Cockburn.
Coburn. That's how you pronounce that name in English.
Thank you. See, that's why that's the main reason I have Humphrey and Siobhan on this episode. Okay.
I'm so glad Siobhan had the same reaction as well. It's like, is it just going to be me?
No. This is perfect. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Captain Coburn it says that he realizes that, which is why it might be a plague ship, which is why he's only going to send a small party to board it to see if anybody is alive and in need of assistance, and to see if there is anything else of interest aboard. You guys have been spending some time with Captain Coburn. So you might know something about him. Would you guys like to roll psychology?
Yes.
Now, when we roll our skills in Call of Cthulhu, we have our main percentage for our skill, and we also have extreme difficulty and hard difficulty right beside that. A hard difficulty roll is half of your skill, and an extreme difficulty roll is 1/5 of your skill. They're in those little spots right before your skill. So in this particular case, it matters how well you do. So let me know what you rolled.
What was it we were rolling against or rolling for?
Psychology, and you'll roll just your regular psychology skill.
Yeah, I did very poorly. I rolled a 94.
A 94. That's not going to do it.
I rolled an 82, so I confuse him for someone else, and I accidentally call him Cockburn.
Yes,
that's how off I am.
And then like a bunch of people on the ship turn to you and go Coburn.
Well,
and they're very polite about it, but you could tell it was a little irritating for them.
The laudanum is coursing through my veins and giving me powers much beyond that of a normal mortal man because I rolled a 7 against my 10.
I can't tell you. Oh, you rolled a 7
against a 10. Yeah.
Okay, check that. When you check a skill, it means it might improve later because you pulled off a really impressive roll. And you, that's a really good success, Humphrey. So I'm going to say that you know some things about our friend Captain Coburn.
I know him well.
Let me see. Do you have a D4 in front of you? If not, I have one.
I do, yeah.
Roll a D4 for me.
3.
You know that Captain Coburn is a patrician who believes the lower classes are to be led, not listened to.
I see, like an officer in the Royal Navy. That makes sense.
Well, maybe with him it's markedly so, or it's a very, very strong tendency with him. And you know what? I'm also going to tell you that he follows his orders technically, but not always the spirit of them. So now he is asking for volunteers. He tells the doctor, he's like, Doctor, of course you'll go over, this being your expertise.
Of course.
And then he's like, and we will send 2 Marines, if that's okay. You know, he asks the sergeant of the Marines, and then, are you volunteering there, Fidak?
Calico shoots up his hand, and says, Captain Coburn, I would be happy to go.
Very good, and I think fits you. And he points to another Marine who will be going with you. This like kind of wiry guy. You guys know that he's pretty popular with the other sailors, but he's like
nobody else speaks Dutch here. I should also like to go.
Really? Are you sure, milady? It could be dangerous.
I'm in a ship in the South China Seas. Everything is dangerous.
That's good. Actually, you see all the other sailors are very intently watching if you'll go. And you can make another psychology roll if you'd like. Specifically, Lucy can.
Ooh, baby, I rolled a 4.
I want you
She
to
knows.
check your psychology for getting such an incredible roll. And I want you to know that you have been hearing them kind of talk under their breath, that they're really kind of disturbed to have a woman aboard the ship. Though it is this ship's kind of mission to carry passengers and cargo to these colonies in the Far East, in the islands, they don't like having a lady aboard, so they're all like kind of breathing a sigh of relief now that you're going across to this other ship.
Bad luck. Wait till they learn that I can swim.
Very
Unnatural.
good. So the captain announces that he is going to send you over in a dinghy. And you'll take the dinghy over, and then you will, climb aboard and see if there's anybody or anything worth rescuing. Does anybody have any questions or requests of the captain before we put you in the water?
Well, yes, I might ask him as a fellow officer for the use of his bosun to pilot the captain's cutter, the dinghy, across to the other boat.
And he says, really, John, I can't let too many people go over to the ship. I mean,
Well, he could stay in the boat. He understands that. But obviously, it's the captain's word is law. So if you're going to make us row ourselves over there, then so be it.
No, very well. I'll send the bosun. Very well.
Nice.
Mr. Titus,
Top.
you'll row them over. This guy walks up.
Calico looks over at the doctor and winks and gives him a little smile.
Tell me what you're taking, or if there's anything, because you have a character sheet that has a lot of items on it. Just let me know right now if you want me to know something about what you're taking with you, because maybe you're not taking everything, or maybe there's something that's not on there that you need before you leave. This is your time to get prepared to go over.
I'll take my doctor's bag.
Mm-hmm.
And probably take a pistol as well, just in case.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
I'll take my parasol just to protect me from the glaring sun, and place my book in my handbag to bring with me as well, just to keep it safe.
Very good. Yeah.
I would like to bring my thieves' tools.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as my pistol and my saber.
Okay, very good. Yes, you are fully armed. You see Fitzhugh kind of sling a pack beside you, Fidak, and get his weapons together, check his flintlock. And the only thing I'll mention about the pistols is that it being 1837, these are flintlocks, which means they fire, and then it takes 4 rounds for you to get it primed and ready to fire again.
That's right.
These are not pistols. They are they are pistols, but they're not.
Revolvers.
They don't have. Yeah. Okay. So soon you are in the water going across to this ship. And now that you're in this little dinghy, like kind of, going over, the fog rises up around you, and it's very thick. And occasionally you lose sight of the ship, even though it's not too far ahead, a couple 100 yards off from you. And you finally see on the side of the ship the name of it, and it says the Magog, Magog, Magog.
As in Gog and Magog?
As in Gog and Magog, perhaps. Yes.
As in Magog.
Exactly. Yes. And I am going to, since you very smartly asked the bosun to take you over, I'm going to roll his pilot boat skill.
Seems sensible.
The bosun didn't do a very good job.
He's been at the grog.
Yes, so he gets you up to the boat, but then he's having trouble kind of getting it tied and lined. And so as people are getting off, they need to give me dexterity rolls.
Oh dear.
I made mine.
I did
Very
not
good.
make mine.
6.
Okay.
I got a 26 against a 70.
Is this a
26.
good time for me to push, or can I just be ladylike and be lifted onto the
You can be ladylike and be lifted, Lucy Hawthorne. Pushing, if it fails again, could be pretty rough here,
It's
where
a little
you're hanging
early.
over water. Yeah, or this early in the game, but it's up to you.
I'll let the gentleman assist me in my large petticoats onto this ship.
Well, that is truly where our bosun are. That's where he really messed up. I think that's where he failed in his duty, because perhaps it's due to his superstition about you, Lucy. But he kind of drops you for a second, and you go into the water for a second, and your dresses are kind of like soaked, and it's so cold that I'm going to rule that you take 1 exposure damage. So you're going to take 1 of your HP off. You are immediately soaked and frozen for a second. And he's like kind of cursing under his breath at Mr. Titus as he finally kind of hoists you up onto the side of the boat.
I would like to chew out Mr. Titus real hard.
Very good.
I'd like to damn his eyes.
Why don't you give me an intimidate roll?
Oh, I'm not very intimidating. Probably because he can still smell the booze on my breath. That is, I failed intensely.
Titus just like smiles at you, but then he knows that would be insubordinate, so it's like but he was smiling a second ago, and he.
Yeah, well, you damn your eyes, you Dutch-bottomed herring bastard. Make sure when we come back, you have this boat. I'll kiss it up against the side of the ship. I'll fuck off back to the conclusion.
Okay.
And Calico rushes to Miss Hawthorne to just sort of help maybe wring out the bottom of her dress and make sure she's all right.
Thank you, sir.
I think that as you make your way up onto the main deck, I think what would be in order would be a natural world roll for everybody. Natural world.
Okay.
I made it because I got 17 natural world. I like birds.
Yes. You notice that the fog is now moving off, but dark clouds are rolling in. You think that a storm might be in the offing soon, so you better make this quick.
What do we have?
So here you are on the main deck of Magog. This is a Dutch merchantman, and here you've come over the side in kind of the mid decks on the top. So just to let you know, on either side of the boat, it kind of goes up. Like there are, in fact, in the aft section of the boat here on top, you have to kind of climb these little ladders to get up top and kind of see what's up there. And then over in the front of the boat, where the point of the boat is, there's another upward section where you kind of have to walk upstairs to get up there to some rigging and some lines and things like that. But here in the middle section, the most notable thing is that there is a 15-foot by 15-foot opening to the hold below. So you can look right down into the hold here, or at least to the mid deck, which is the next deck down in this big hole. And you could also go check out the forward part of this main deck, or you could go back to the aft part of this main deck up top. So let me know what you'd like to do.
Well, does anyone have any preference?
Would the passenger quarters be in the aft deck?
The passenger quarters would be probably down, deeper into the boat. Maybe mid decks would be, which would be like one level down. Back in the aft, you may know or may have noticed, that would be where they steer the ship and things like that. And even right now, you kind of suddenly the ship lurches again, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what is going on?" And that's when Fitzhugh looks at all of you and is like, "Where is everyone?"
I would like to call out a good old-fashioned ahoy.
Okay, ahoy!
Ahoy there!
And you receive no answer, but now people can make spot hiddens for me if they'd like. This is just to see if they notice something.
I do not. I'm too busy shouting ahoy.
Yes, I rolled a 21 on a 50.
That's very good. So I can tell you that looking back at the aft, the raised section aft, you can see where the wheel is to pilot the ship, and there appears to be a man kind of hunched over it, like unconscious.
Can I smell anything?
Smell anything?
What does it smell like on this ship?
Okay, very good. The smell up here, you smell wind and waves. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to let the group know, everyone there, I spotted an unconscious man, what appears to be an unconscious man up at the stern.
Oh,
Let's go check it out, says Fitzhugh, and he starts walking that direction.
Don't touch it, Fitzhugh.
Touch it? We're supposed to rescue anybody who needs help. Aren't
Right.
you the doctor? Sorry, sir.
Yes, I fucking am private, and if you don't want to be on a charge, you'll watch your mouth around me. Now, listen here.
Yes, sir.
If
Sorry,
you
sir.
touch him and he's got some sort of plague, you could get it. And then you could bring it back onto the conclusion. And then I have to put you over the side with 2 cannonballs tied to your feet so you sink to the bottom.
Yes, sir.
Right. So go over there, have a look at him. Don't touch him.
He is climbing up onto the aft deck. Like I said, there's that kind of hole down into the decks that you could look into. There's also the forward deck here you could go and investigate. Or you could go with him to check out this guy at the wheel.
I would like to walk up to the forward deck. So that's,
Okay, very good.
That's the highest point, right? Outside of the mast?
Yeah, but before you get up to that high point, there's like steps to go up there.
Okay.
And there's also a door right here, like, you know, in the like section that kind of becomes raised, so you can go into an area right here. The door is shut.
Mm-hmm. I would first like to go up the stairs to the highest point and see what I can see.
Very good. Fidak climbs the stairs up onto the forward part of the main deck here, and you see where there's like a lot of rigging and like lines, you know, here, and something looks a little off about them. Do you have mechanical repair? You can roll that now.
Let me look. Mechanical repair. Sure. Oh, yeah, I did. Rolled an 18 on 25.
Excellent roll.
Nice.
And I can tell you the 2 things for such a great roll. And I'm going to let you to check that skill as well. That skill may improve later. So you notice that some of the rigging has like come loose or like snapped here. And this is commiserate with the type of thing that would happen if no one was piloting the ship and it was just kind of going along on the waves like wildly. Like if people weren't manning these things and moving them and changing them the way they need to be changed, some of this might snap or break off. So that's what's happened here, and it would need to be repaired before the ship can be properly really piloted the way that someone would like.
Okay, and do I have enough knowledge of ropes and rigging to when I see that these are worn down like that, I'm able to kind of deduce how long it would take for a rope to wear down like that, to sort of get an idea of how long the ship has been like this?
For your very excellent roll, I'll tell you that it probably hasn't been long. It's not like something that's decayed or something. It's just like maybe even just a night of kind of moving wildly with no one steering or monitoring these things may have caused this damage.
Okay.
All right. So you could actually start repairing this using mechanical repair or your sleight of hand, which knows how to make knots and things. Fidak?
I think before I want to do any repairing, I'd like to go back down to the group.
Okay,
and let
very
them
good.
know. So it looks like the rigging is in pretty bad shape. Like the ship hasn't been piloted for at least a day. It's quite worn down. It is able to be repaired, but it would take me some time. My thinking is we should explore the ship for survivors before we actively start repairing the ship. What say you?
That's when Fitzhugh calls from the aft. He's like, "Hey, he's unconscious. He's not moving. You should come try to wake him up."
But he's breathing.
Yeah.
I see. Don't touch him. And I'd like to make my way over there.
I'll go as well if he's a Dutchman.
Okay,
Yes.
and I soak. I go into my medical bag and I soak a couple of different handkerchiefs with like intense rubbing alcohol. That I'm like, here, please hold this over your mouth and nose while you talk to these things. What it kills whatever foul miasmas come off this thing.
I lose 3 hit points for these.
Yeah, mine also. I dip mine in a slightly different bottle that is like chock full of laudanum and like methamphetamines. Like, right, okay, all right, let's see what's going on over here.
Yeah, give me a medicine roll to see what's wrong with him, and then if you'd like to start reviving him, that would be a first aid roll.
Okay, I just rolled a 1 on my medicine, so I know exactly what's happened to him.
Well, when you do that, you get to check it. This man,
wrong angles. I can't. It could be any one of these numbers. I'm just holding up to you.
when you roll a 1 like that, you got to check that medicine skill. Even though you're really good at medicine already, maybe it'll improve later. So this man has collapsed due to exhaustion. Now that you guys are close to him, both Lucy and the doctor can see that he has actually tied himself to the wheel, that the way some people did sometimes. Yes, there he is. Our poor Dutchman.
That is a Ross Bryant original. I reckon.
Yes,
Beautiful.
our friend. Sorry.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, our friend Ross Bryant, who you can see on our vampire stream, does these excellent illustrations for us. So there he is. Yeah. So you can tell, Doctor, that he collapsed due to exhaustion, and that probably some sort of nervous condition as well. He looks like it's not just that he was trying to keep the ship going, but that something has shocked his nervous system in some way. Yeah, only a 1 would have gotten you that extra little tidbit.
So it looks like he's been suffering from. He must be starving. He must be all these. So we must get as much rich food into him as quickly as possible.
Yes.
That's my understanding of the medicine.
He is still kind of hunched over and unable to speak. Would you like to try to revive him?
Yes, I've got some fortified port wine in my bag, another important medicinal alcohol. I'd like to try and tip some of it into his mouth and then just like slap him about a bit.
Give me a first aid roll.
I shall. This one was a 53 against a 70, so I'm good. I'm a medical man, baby.
And he just keeps taking the what was it that you gave him?
Fortified port wine.
Yeah, he's like,
all right, son, that's enough.
and then
You'll go blind.
He immediately begins jabbering in Dutch. You know.
Can I roll to understand what he's saying?
Yes, you may.
I got a 17.
Very good. Why don't you? That's a great roll. Is that an extreme success or a hard success?
17 out of 40.
It's a hard.
17 out of 40. Yeah, I think that's it. That's at least that's a hard success. Yeah, I'm going to let you check that. And our friend is just screaming like, almost there, just a little farther. And then he slowly kind of starts to look at you all with like new eyes. He's not as feverish anymore. And he's like, what's happened?
A little farther to what?
Oh, God, I don't know. It's terrible. Fidak and the doctor, you do not understand this gentleman, but our friend who scored so well on her Dutch roll can. Is there anything you'd like to ask him? Because he seems to be a little bit disoriented and unable to kind of like get a sentence together at first.
Miss Hawthorne, what is he saying?
I'm saying almost there. It's not making a lot of sense. Where did your crew go? I'm asking him where his crew went.
He says, abandoned us. Left a skeleton crew. Yeah.
I convey that to the rest of the party.
Okay. Can you ask him why they abandoned ship?
I ask why they abandoned ship.
Superstitious. They were afraid. Yes. Yes, there was some trouble a week back. Yes. Very bad.
What shot? Ask him what shot. I've done more Sean. As I get drunker, I've got more Sean Connery. What? Ask him where the rest of his crew's gone.
Where did they go? And how did they abandon ship? Oh no.
No, it was the girls. They thought the girls had cursed us.
Girls?
What girls?
Took on some passengers. an island that wasn't on the charts. It was a massacre, and then we brought them aboard. And the women, oh God, they killed themselves. And the rest of the crew got spooked, and they left. The cowards abandoned me, abandoned the captain. Yeah.
Where's the captain now?
Dead. All dead. Oh.
I slap him about a bit more.
And you can make psychology rolls on him too.
Also, while this is going on, I would like to step away and go explore that room that I passed earlier on the other side of the ship.
You can do that. Do you want to take Fitzhugh with you, the other Marine?
Yes.
Oh.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Just let me know what your character would like to do.
No, I think I would like I'd like to look by myself.
Give me a stealth roll, because he's kind of Fitzhugh standing on deck, like looking around at everyone, looking at the Dutchman. He seems really spooked.
Let's see. I rolled a 32 on 65.
Very good.
Good
So
stealth.
Fidak slips away, and you slip over to that door in the fore section of the main deck, and you pop it open, and inside you see a dining room. And on the table in this dining room, you see a meal laid out. And it looks like a meal was laid out but never eaten. You can roll natural world to determine how long it's been sitting here.
Let's see. 25. I failed. 25 on
Okay.
10.
You're not sure, but it's not like covered in maggots or like completely deteriorated, is all I can tell you. And there's a little door inside this dining room, and there are also stairs leading downward toward the back of it.
I'd like to pick up a little piece of the food and smell it.
Mm-hmm.
And do I notice anything strange?
It seems still edible, but it's been sitting out for a while.
Okay. I would like to feed Jacob. Pull out my little rat.
Oh, yeah.
Give him some food.
And that's what I'm going to do every time Jacob is mentioned. All right, so you're feeding your rat. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in a minute, Fidak, unless you have anything else immediately. Is there anything else you were thinking?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So how do we do on our psychology roll for our Dutchman?
Oh, I didn't try one.
I did very poorly. I rolled a 75.
I'll try
Very
again.
good.
I rolled a 79. Even
Oh,
worse. I've got a
All right.
slightly less good impression of what he's thinking.
Something's wrong with him, and he's not making a lot of sense. It might be due to the exhaustion.
Okay, let's see. What can we do?
You can ask questions though. You can ask more questions if you'd like.
How did the captain die? How did the others die?
That's when he lurches forward and grabs at your lapel, Miss Hawthorne, and he says, "The thing in the hold!"
I'd like to punch him in the face, just as he did that, just as a natural reaction, like fucking get back.
Give me a fighting roll,
Not very good at this.
but roll a bonus die because it's
Yeah.
easy to punch a lunatic as he is blabbering helplessly.
That's what you think, because I've only got 25 for my fighting brawl, and I rolled a 72 and then a 62. So
Well-
I got slightly better, but I think I just punched the deck. Fuck!
Well, I think that what happens is, you imagine yourself just haymakering him and him like going to the ground, but it ends up being more of like a embarrassing scuffle where you're like, "Get off of her!"
Unhand
like,
her.
"Oh, I'm
Your
hunting
dog.
her." It's an embarrassing display of ruffianhood and machismo, Miss Hawthorne. So what next? He is kind of now backed away from you, like.
I do think it's probably important to say, wait, after I've done all this, I'm like, what thing in the hold?
And he just kind of sits down on the deck, like not in a place where there is a seat, just kind of like a child, like just sobbing.
Can I roll to see if I've noticed if Calico is not there with us anymore?
I think so, and that would be an idea roll. You'll find that right near your intelligence.
I got a 26 out of 70.
You absolutely notice not only that Calico's not with you, but where he is gone. You look across to the fore section of the ship, and you see that door open.
Doctor, the Marine with the rat. He's gone. He's gone into the ship.
Yeah.
Damn him! He's always walking off on his own.
I think it'd be best if we stick together. Who knows how many more of these dehydrated, half insane Dutchmen that are hanging around in here. Let's go and so Fidak, Private Fidak, where are you?
So you all start moving across.
In here.
Okay, yeah, you all start moving toward Fidak over in the fore section, and you're passing by that big kind of 15-foot hole that leads down into the mid deck. And as you do that, everybody can make an extreme listen roll if you'd like.
Ooh.
But let me know how you do in general.
I'm rolling.
Not me though, because I'm already in the room, right?
That's right. I'm sorry. Yes, Fidak, you're already over in the dining room.
I got a 34 out of 60.
34 out of 60. That's a really good roll, but not quite enough. And
Is it worth spending some luck points on to get down to 30?
it may be.
But that
Yeah.
won't get you to extreme, wasn't it? Extreme
Oh, yeah,
we
it's
had to do?
extreme.
Yeah, I need extreme. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Good point. Sorry.
Come on, everyone. I'm rolling for a 4 here, baby. Come on, magic dice. 69, even better.
Nice,
Well,
nice dice.
Miss Hawthorne, looking down, well, not looking, but listening. Even though you didn't get your extreme, I will tell you this: you hear like in the down, if you know, in that space.
I don't like that at all.
There's some strange animal down there. Perhaps some of the pigs or cows that they had kept for.
Yes, I assume so. What else could it be? They must. I'm sure they've got a fresh load of livestock they got off that island where they murdered all those people, which we just glossed over very quickly.
Yes, it does seem like the natural way of things, does it not?
Well,
So here you are there with Fidak. I mean, you can look down into that hole if you'd like, or you can head over to where Fidak is.
Let's not look down the hole that has the sound
the
in it
terrible.
yet.
the
You
terrible
have
pig
played
noise
Call of
hole.
Cthulhu before. Okay, very good. So you head over to where Fidak is, and now you're looking into the dining room. You see the meal laid out.
I turned to them. I thought I heard the strangest sound coming from this room, but there appears to be no one here and a meal completely untouched. Whoever was here left in a hurry.
This ship presents more mysteries than it presents answers.
Did the unconscious man give you any useful information?
He did tell us one or two things, did he not, Miss Hawthorne?
Yes, everybody's dead. Can I sort of sneak off into a corner and do a little occult check?
You may.
This room.
In this room, you'd like to kind of do and what are you specifically trying to do with your occult?
Just to see if there is any sort of residual magical sort of soundings that I can get in touch with. There's something off on this boat.
I understand. Yeah, you may. You can go off and do an occult roll, kind of secretly as you look around.
Great. I got a 44 out of 65.
All I can tell you is that you feel very you do feel a vibe in the air that you don't like. Something feels very off about the energy on this boat, and it scares you.
Okay.
And I can tell you that here in the dining room where you've walked over into a corner, would you like to make a spot hidden for me?
Sure. Ooh, what? A 94. I see nothing.
I see nothing. So you are looking at stairs leading down deeper into the ship over in this corner where you've walked. And as I said, there is another door in this, like off of this dining room, like kind of off to the left.
So there's the door and some stairs.
And some stairs down.
Should we check the door? We may as well sweep everything up here before we descend further into the bowels of this foul hulk.
Doctor,
I agree.
there are strange things afoot here, and I suggest that we proceed with caution.
I don't disagree.
I pull out Jacob and put him on my shoulder. We could use all the eyes we can get.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I
I
hate
told
that
you
rat.
I'd do it. I told you I'd do
I
it.
don't like it.
All right. So you open that door. I understand you correctly, right?
Yes, please.
And who's opening it?
Fitzhugh, make yourself useful, son. Open this door over here.
Right. Pulls out his flintlock and is like, looks at all of you, opens the door, and you're looking at food stacked up on little shelves and things like that.
A pantry.
It looks well stocked. No one was starving. A lot of it looks like it comes like not as rations that they would have brought with them from the Netherlands, but stuff that they had brought back from. So they were on their way back.
Okay. So the ship has been abandoned for a week, and we're in the middle of the Pacific in the summer, but this food doesn't look that rotten. Is that right?
That's right. I mean,
do
they
we
would have
know-
had food that could stay good for, weeks at a time. They would need to do that. But I guess the point that you might take away from this larder is that they were not starving.
Did the unconscious man say it had been a week? Because the rigging looked like it had only been unattended to for about a day.
Yeah. So
What did he
I
say?
think that, you guys should continue investigating, because it seems like it doesn't. Maybe you're correct, Fidak, that you noticed that things had not been left that long. It looks like.
Okay. Why don't we check downstairs?
Yeah, should we send Fitzhugh to keep a watch on our friend up at the wheel?
Yeah, you can do that if you'd like.
I don't want him coming up behind us and pushing us into some sort of pit.
Oi, what about that little door over there? And he points over to the aft deck. And again, there's that elevated area where the wheel is, but there's a door right there under it.
The stateroom or the captain's cabin. All
Should we
right,
check
yeah,
that out before we go lower?
Yes, good point, Fitzhugh.
Yes.
I'm really glad you're here.
Okay.
After you. You can open the door. That's your prize, sunshine. I'll be quick about it.
He does his thing again. Locked.
Right, well, put a pistol bullet through the lock, will you? That was a good lad.
You want me to waste a bullet on it?
We'll kick the door down then, do you have to do everything around here?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Every
sure.
time the doctor is rude, I do that sort of very English thing where I look vaguely away as if it's not happening.
Okay. He does really well kicking it in. The wood finally, after he gives it 4 or 5 really hard kicks, the wood, the mechanism that's keeping it locked finally smashes in, and you're looking into, yes, a stateroom and a captain's quarters. This is not a huge luxury stateroom. This is a down and dirty little affair. Immediately, people that want to can look at a bookshelf, a bed, a table, and he has a cross hanging on the wall.
I'd like to look.
How large is the cross?
It's pretty big, but it's picture frame sized.
While Miss Hawthorne goes to the bookshelf, I'll go to the table to investigate.
I will say it's not a cross; it's a crucifix. To be clear. You're gonna go to the table.
Are there any decanters of fancy-looking booze here?
Oh yeah. Yes. Why don't you give me a little bit of let me see. Yeah, give me a spot hidden roll to see if you can find anything to drink.
Let me ask you, does 96 mean I find anything to drink? Or does it mean I poke myself in the eye whilst trying to open a drawer and I bang myself in the face?
You finally pull out whatever bottle of whatever kind of stuff he had, and you see that it's like been corked a long time ago, and when you like shake it, like a single drop comes out.
It's like vinegar.
Yeah. If you want, you could make some sort of chemistry roll, or I would even allow a hard intelligence roll to see what kind of booze that was that just poured out.
I made that. Made a hard intelligence roll.
Oh, yeah. This is a sacramental wine, maybe.
Oh,
Queer.
a Catholic Dutchman.
There were some. There were quite a few, actually. They were having wars about this around this time.
What do I roll for checking the bookshelf?
You can make a library use roll.
Oh, a library use roll. Excellent. Ooh, I rolled a 4 out of 60.
You can check that, and Miss Hawthorne immediately pulls out, and it's kind of hidden among the books on various naval topics. The captain's log looks to be the log because it's got a big official kind of stamping on the front that says Magog, and then inside there's page after page written in tightly scrawled hand in a language that you maybe don't recognize unless anybody has Latin.
Yes, baby. Consider yourself Latin.
Okay. It'll take a little while to read through this. Would you like to do that, Doctor?
I'd like to take it. I'd like to light a candle, some appropriately spooky lighting, and sit in the corner and flip through the book in some way, shape, or form.
Appropriately spooky lighting is achieved. And why don't you give me a Latin roll? And if you do well, you're going to get to the interesting part quickly. And if you do poorly, it's going to take you a little while.
Fuck me! I rolled a 95.
Oh,
really?
boy.
The doctor, he takes off his glasses. Right. Let's see what I can see here. He is unable to read anything.
Okay. In the meantime, I need to see spot hiddens from the other two while he's sitting there reading.
God, boy, a 97.
Oof, 70.
Okay. I'll just let you guys know. That's okay. I'll just let you guys know that it seems untidy. There are things kind of knocked over. There are, places where the books had already kind of been pulled out onto the floor. The table in particular, like it looks like he'd been keeping a couple of tropical fruits in a bowl, but some of them are rolling around on the floor.
Trying to think of a way something I could roll to improve my chances of doing well on my next Latin roll.
You know what? Make a firearms roll, Fidak.
Sure. Oof, 74.
Okay, so it's a miss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You notice that he does have a weapon in here. He has a blunderbuss.
Ooh.
That's a big old, it's like a flintlock musket.
Okay, I'd like to pick it up and investigate. Does it look like it's still functional?
It does.
Okay, I'll hold on to that.
Very good. Yes, Doctor. Yes, you have a question.
Could I've noticed that although I'm struggling with my Latin, my brain fogged perhaps by more alcohol I had than when I was studying at the university. There are a lot of facts and figures in here, a lot of tonnage, a lot of stuff about how much food they've eaten each day. Could I use my accounting roll? Could I do an accounting roll to then do another reading roll, if that makes sense?
I'll allow that. Sure.
Well, fuck my naval asshole. Oh no, that was a terrible sentence. Because I failed it. I do apologize, Miss Hawthorne, for my salty sailor's language. I'm used to being on a ship with just all fellas, and we all talk about fucking arses. Suffice to say that I failed my accountancy roll pretty bad, so never mind.
Okay, that's okay, but I can tell you while you're looking through the records, you find something interesting kind of like laid out, which are the kind of navigational coordinates.
Sure.
But there's something really odd, which is that, they do star charts, and you start to kind of unfold the star charts here, and you realize that the one you're looking at looks like kind of crudely hand drawn. And it looks not really properly done. You can make an astronomy roll if you'd like.
I would like that. I'm good at astronomy. But not I'm on a real sweet roll here. It's just all the big daddies.
Well, that's okay. All I'm going to tell you is that it's just extremely odd. Like, whoever made these coordinates wasn't following the proper procedure. They were doing it hastily, and it looks a little feverishly. That's what, they were quickly doing something strange with the navigation of the ship.
Sure. In fact, can I push my astronomy roll?
Yes, but I am going to warn you. You already failed your Latin roll. Unbelievably. And if you fail this, it means that the doctor is spending a lot of time in here, you guys. Like, and you guys are you're like, let's keep going or something like that. And he's like, shh, I almost have it. You know what I mean? So it's going to take even more time if you do this, but you're welcome to if you fail.
Come on, St. Andrew. Fuck me. I rolled an even worse 88.
Okay, so you guys are all like, Doctor, are you okay? And he's like, quiet, I need quiet. And he's like,
get away from me. I'm good at books and I'm find all the bloody stuff.
Let's see how much time passes while you all are kind of in here. Yeah, that's a bit of time. Make listen rolls, everybody.
Oh dear.
I'm bad at this.
Oh no, I'm good at it and I keep on rolling very poorly.
Something's happened. We were doing so well.
I know, I rolled an 86.
Okay.
67.
So
70.
we fail our listens. Okay. Don't
always bad in this game.
I think I should push this because I have a 60. I have the chances are for me to succeed. And if we've all failed, I'm going to push it.
Very good.
I rolled an 8.
Very good. So what you notice is that you've spent so much time in here that you suddenly notice that the wind outside is really picking up. And you notice that even though the doctor seems completely absorbed, that the ship is really kind of lurching back and forth more. And it looks like the weather is taking a turn for the worse. And I will just say that probably, Miss Hawthorne, you think that probably you guys should start acting because soon it's going to be tough too.
Dr. The storm.
Oh, you're right. We must, gosh, I suppose we better search this bloody ship from top to bottom and get back to the conclusion as fast as possible.
Here's what I'm going to give you on your Latin roll,
yes.
Doctor. This is what you're able to read before you're interrupted by Miss Hawthorne and told to keep moving, which is that this is the log of Captain Reuben Van Beek. He is a Roman Catholic. He drops many clues that he is, and praise the Holy Mother and things like that inside of his log. And the story is that twin Dutch merchant vessels, this is the story of the boat. Twin Dutch merchant vessels, the Gog and the Magog, set sail from Amsterdam to ply the Pacific trade routes. While taking on fresh water upon an uncharted island in Melanesia, the crews made contact with an indigenous tribe living there. Some trade was attempted, but for reasons not made clear in the logs, a small massacre of the islanders took place, and the Gog and Magog took to sea with a small group of captives, mostly female, mostly young. And they took the idol, which was the center of the tribe's central place of worship. Days after this incident, the island captives were found to have committed a form of ritual suicide in the hold of the Magog. Their bodies arranged in what Captain Van Beek calls atavistic geometry around the stolen idol. These bodies were tossed overboard, but almost immediately after that, the captain says the crew became fearful, claiming nightmares of the ship sinking, seeing shapes in the water. And the situation worsened to mutiny. The most superstitious of the Magog seamen fled under cover of darkness on the ship's longboats to the nearby Gog, leaving their old ship manned only by a skeleton crew. Van Beek is shocked the next morning to see that the Gog has also abandoned them. So this ship was left even by its sister ship, and that is when Miss Hawthorne starts pulling at your sleeve, and you're irritated because there's more to read, but the weather's getting bad, and you've got to go do something. So what are you going to do next, everyone?
Oh, we're going to get tuned back real bad on this boat, I could tell. What do you think? I guess there's only one thing to do. We can either return to the conclusion and suggest that they fired on the ship until it sinks, which would make sense to me. But that's to me because I'm playing Call of Cthulhu. I suspect that these characters on board the ship are like, well, we should just see if there's any more survivors and try and get them off. What strange goings on?
Great. Well, so if you're looking for any more survivors, you'd want to go deeper into the ship. You'd have to exit the stateroom here into like sort of this little corridor section where you can walk further deeper into the ship. Also, on the side of the stateroom, there appears to be a privy for the crew, but it's like outside the stateroom on the side. So there are steps down here and also the little privy room.
So the door to the privy room is shut. Is it? We can't
It
see
is, yeah, and it's kind of outside the stateroom, like kind of tacked onto the side, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Private Fitzhugh.
Yes.
Well, you sent him back. You sent him back to guard our friend. Yeah.
The able seaman on the wheel.
Yes. Mr. Fidak, private, do us a favor, will you? Open the door.
All right. I ready my pistol with one hand, and with the other, slowly push open the door and step back.
Okay. It's a privy, but there is blood on the wall, like a spatter of it, and everybody can make a spot hidden roll.
What?
64.
99.
Success, 27.
Very good. Fidak, you're the one that finds deeply splintered into the wood here, there's a musket ball.
I presume rolling a 99, I just like shit myself. When the door opened, I saw a privy and was like, ah! And, oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you're the one that's always asking what the ship smells like. I mean,
I want to know.
Yeah.
So I see blood and a musket ball embedded in the wall, but there's no person that the blood belongs to.
No, but Fidak, do you have tracking?
I don't think where would I find that?
It's on it's in the skills, right, and they're all alphabetical. So as you get over to the right, you'll see tracking.
Skills far right on the top sheet, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. It's low, but I can roll for it.
Give it a shot.
Ooh, 61 on 10.
Okay, probably a little too high unless you'd like to push.
No.
Okay. So all I can tell you is that yes, it looks like maybe someone was shot at in here.
Okay. All right, I'd like to turn around and just point it out to the doctor and Miss Lucy. You know, there's a musket embedded in the wall, which means either the captain or someone else was shooting into here, but no body or creature that this blood belongs to. Any ideas?
Is there? Tell me about this privy. Is it just like a hole that drops down into the sea?
That's correct.
Does it look like something could get up in through there and then get shot? Like if a monster came out of the sea?
Your imagination is big, Doctor.
More for me than the doctor, because the doctor.
That's okay.
I can't ask that question, really, can I? Because I don't think he would consider that.
I think that you can. I don't. It doesn't bother me as the keeper. I'll say it's a hole the size of a privy. So I guess something could come up out of it, but it would be reaching very far. I mean, longer than the arm of any squid that you've ever heard of.
And I've heard of a lot of squids.
Yes.
Judging by the size of the musket ball, does it look like it belongs to or was shot from the what do we call it that I just got from
the blunderbuss?
The blunderbuss.
No, this is probably something that was shot from a flintlock pistol.
Interesting.
Okay. Shall we carry on?
Yes, I feel we must go down into the very
Down.
least.
Onwards
And down
downwards.
you go.
Do we want to bring in Fiddus? Is that his name?
Fitzhugh.
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 Mm-hmm.
Is his
Could
name?
be useful.
Shall we bring? I got to tell you, I feel like Fitzhugh opening the door was a really good strategy.
I think you're right. What state is the Dutchman in? When we come, say first of all, what can we say? Like, what is den Name, or like, what's your name? You speak English, boy.
So you guys were on the, you guys are kind of under them, you know what I mean, when you were down in the stateroom and everything. So you're coming out. Are you going back up onto the aft portion, or are you just yelling up at them?
I think we could go back onto the deck.
Okay. You.
Yeah, because as we go back up to the deck, do we want to peek down into the hole? I noticed Miss Lucy didn't want to do that, and it sounded like it was strategy to not look down the hole. But is there value in taking a peek?
We probably should have a look in the hole. We probably would in real life.
Okay, so before you go up onto the aft deck, you're going to take a look into that, kind of like hole down into the cargo hold. Okay.
Yeah, I want to take a look.
So you look down into the mid decks, and as you look down,
He's so
you are
pleased.
horrified
He's
to
so pleased
see
we looked into this.
a small black furry animal, and you see that it is a pig, and it is rifling through like an overturned box where these like big kind of yellow fruits are kind of falling out of it, and it's rifling through them down there.
Well, it's just a piggy.
Oh,
It's just a pig.
Okay, not so bad.
huh.
And the ship lurches again, and a bunch of cold drops hit your face.
Right. Well, so okay. First things first. What state's the Dutchman in?
Ah, very good. Looking over, you don't see the Dutchman anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck me.
no.
Do we see McHugh?
Fitzhugh.
Oh, Fitzhugh.
You do not see Fitzhugh, but if you went up onto the aft deck, you might be able to spy him.
Oh, fuck me.
God damn it.
Uh-oh.
Fitzhugh. Right. I'd like to run. I'd like to run up the steps. Keeping
Okay.
one hand for
As-
myself and one hand for the ship.
Very good.
Could I ready my blunderbuss as we crest these stairs?
Oh, absolutely. You are you're climbing. Yeah, no problem. You guys run over there and you're climbing, and you've got your blunderbuss in one hand as you're climbing up. And as you come up over the rise, you see Fitzhugh, and he is laying on the ground, like with his like arms splayed and legs out. And would you guys like to investigate?
Yes.
Yes.
You walk over and you notice that Fitzhugh's head has almost been completely removed from his neck. Something has chopped at his neck over and over, and a couple of the chops have gone into his chest, and there's just a mess of blood leaking out of his throat, but he is barely still alive, and he looks up at you going, and then he dies. Please roll your sanity, Fidak and McCorkadale.
God damn it. I've seen many men die before. But what is my sanity? What is it? 55?
Where is... ooh. 43 on 35, so I just failed.
That's a fail.
Now...
I'll let you know in just one
Okay.
second. Let me see what the doctor...
I also failed.
Okay, so Dr. McCorkadale takes 1 sanity point loss, and Fidak takes 4 sanity point loss for looking at this horrible sight. And here is how this works. So your total goes down by 4 points, Fidak, by 1 point, Dr. McCorkadale. And when you roll against sanity again, you have to roll against the new number. So each time it goes down, you're rolling against the lower number. And if you lose 5 or more in one roll, which can happen sometimes, then some other rolls go into effect, and you can have like an extreme reaction. But for now, you are still completely in control of your character, and you must tell me what you'd like to do next.
do we see the Dutchman anywhere?
You do not, which is disturbing because, where did he go? Like, he must have he would have had to come down off of the aft, but you were in there a long time with the doctor reading his books.
And looking at the blood on the ship, is there any sort of tracks away from Fitzhugh's body?
Oh, that's great. Why don't you give me a track roll again?
That's not going to be good. That's a 59 on 10. I slipped in some blood.
Well, yeah. So there is some blood splatter, and it does kind of like trickle down, and you do notice that like it looks like he has like maybe climbed down into that area where the pig is, or maybe he went over and down the stairs in the forward portion, because there's not quite enough. Like it wasn't like he was leaving bloody footprints that led you anywhere. You're just kind of like seeing little drops here and there.
Please, may I make a medicine roll to try and determine what it was that he used to do this damage to Fitzhugh?
Yes, you may.
I succeeded hard.
Oh, very good. This was done with some sort of axe or hatchet.
Motherfucker.
Good to know.
Right.
Now, look, this is a horror game, and maybe in a horror game there are moments where the party goes, you know what, fuck it, let's get out of here. And that's okay. But there's also a duty. You had a mission, and your mission was to rescue any goods or people aboard, right? So I can tell you that if you are able to do that, it'll be really great for your characters, especially going forward in this series. You'll get benefits for having done that. But also, I'm not going to tell you as your keeper that you have to, like, I mean, if you think your character would go, fuck it, we got to escape, let me know.
Okay. May I just take, I'm so sorry, the quickest of pee breaks? I will be as lightning fast as possible.
Sure, but I need you to do it on camera.
Done. Let's go. No.
I'm joking. Yes, please. Fidak, go and relieve yourself off the side of the ship. A reasonable reaction to losing your sanity points.
Very
4 sanity points.
I'd like to, as I'm down in sort of the mid-deck area, and the lads are up aft,
Yes.
do an occult check on the pig.
Okay, very good. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a 45 out of 65.
The pig is a normal pig. Probably brought aboard to eat, or maybe as a pet. You could do a natural world check on the pig and maybe know more about it.
My natural world skill isn't very good, but I'll give it a go. Oh, I passed. I rolled a 6.
That's incredible. But because it's not super germane to solving the scenario, I'm not going to have you check it.
Okay.
But I will tell you that the fact that there's like a little like black furred pig down there, that kind of jives with what you know about where they said the log said they were, Melanesia. Those islands have like
Little black
pigs, little black pigs. Yeah.
Little piggies. I would take this opportunity to the doctor scrambles around in his medical bag and just downs another massive like half pint of laudanum, and he's absolutely flying now.
Wow. Yeah, he would be flying. Let's see. How would that affect him?
Like he's gonna he checks the priming of his flintlock pistol. He picks up Fitzhugh's other pistol and stuffs that in his thing.
I'll tell you what else he does.
His shirt and is like, fucking right.
I'll tell you what else he does is he makes a con check.
he misses it by 1, so I'm going to spend a luck point so he passes.
Oh man, is he great at taking laudanum and keeping on ticking?
He's been doing this for a long time. I've seen terrible things.
He's feeling real good.
Ship die really painful deaths because all of the laudanum is going into the doctor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got plenty. Don't worry. I've got 15 carboys of laudanum in my little store.
You actually started the adventure by saying you were running low because you're using so much of it.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've still got lots of portable soup and the blue pill, which is like ground up sugar they give to people with syphilis.
Welcome back, Robert. You didn't miss much. The doctor took more laudanum, which isn't affecting.
Pistol.
Oh, and he picked up a second pistol.
And I found out the pig is a normal pig.
Yes, it's a normal pig. So, what would you guys like to do now?
Are there any other weapons on Fitzhugh's body?
Fitzhugh had a knife.
Okay. Miss Lucy, do you have any sort of means of protection?
I have this dainty parasol.
Jill,
Fantastic. Why
I'd
don't
like
you
to
hold on to... Oh, go on.
give her one of my pistols.
Oh,
Or give her
And-
Fitzhugh's pistol. I wipe the blood. I hand it over. Oh, I wipe it on my. So it's got like blood and viscera on it. Oh, there you go.
And here you are. Here's a knife as well.
thank you. Thank you. I don't know how to use either of these, but thank you.
Very gentlemanly of you. Here's a knife covered with the blood of the guy that just died. You're welcome. Okay, what's next, guys?
I think we need to go below deck.
Find this fucker.
Yeah. All right.
Here-
I'll
very
lead the
good.
way.
Very good. Which stairs are you taking, or are you trying to kind of climb down in that middle kind of open area? There are stairs in the fore and the aft sections.
Well, he probably, if he's not here, he probably went through the fore section because he would have had to go
Right.
past us in the aft.
Yep, that's right.
Good thinking. So let's go that way.
All right. Everyone sticks
Okay.
further.
So you say you're going in the aft to stay away from him, or are you following him
To
in the force?
Following his footsteps, right?
All right,
To
great.
turn
So
down the floor.
you run up to the fore section, and you go past that little dining room, through that little dining room, and start going down the stairs. And then you are in the mid-decks section. Okay. You immediately come into an area that is a sleeping quarters. There look like there are berths for 20 or so men, meaning, hammocks or whatever. And everyone can make an idea roll as you look around in here.
Idea isn't just intelligence, right?
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Great. Oh no, I got a 95. Such good intelligence.
55
55.
I made it hard.
on 40.
You made it. All I can tell you, Doctor, is that it looks like a lot of these people left in a hurry because there are personal effects and things like that left behind.
That fits.
Like little rosaries, their personal Bibles, things like that.
Could I just kind of take a keen look at the floor to see if I spot any droplets of blood?
Good idea. Give me a spot hidden roll again.
Ooh, 13 on 50.
Go ahead and check that.
Okay.
Can I very quickly just say to these two, stay here, don't go anywhere, and I want to run back up the gangway back onto the deck very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and then I fire my pistol into the air to gain the attention of the conclusion. And I wave, and I give it a come here.
Okay, very good.
So hopefully our ride out of here is going to come back, and then I immediately start reloading my pistol.
Very good. It is reloaded, and I can tell you,
Back downstairs.
Mr. Fidak, that you in fact now see blood, and there definitely the droplets and things definitely lead to a stairway that's over near the pig that leads down farther into the bottom hold.
Okay.
And that stairway is actually part of so there's a big opening on the top deck, and there's a big opening here on the mid decks too, but this one has stairs going down into that hold.
Okay.
And
Miss
there are
Lucy,
all kinds
doctor,
of boxes
look.
gathered around it. So this is beyond this little area of 20 berths where people slept in hammocks. There's where you can see the pig up ahead, snuffling through the box of yams. There's all kinds of boxes around that area there, and then there's another big opening with stairs leading down. And as you follow these droplets, you see that they are definitely going in that direction,
Okay,
down into the bottom level.
Miss Lucy, doctor, look at the blood.
Ah, yes, I see. It seems.
Are my weapons loaded?
You haven't fired them, so I would say that they are.
Okay.
Can I check to see if my flintlock is loaded? I mean, we didn't hear any shots, but
You did not hear any shots, which might lead you to believe that maybe Fitzhugh was taken by surprise. You notice that it is loaded.
okay.
Can I do? I've got terrible listen, but can I do a listen roll?
You may.
Oh, I have a good listen. I'll do a listen roll.
I'll do a listen roll as well.
I got a 37 over 60.
That's
Ooh.
great.
I got a 10 out of 55.
Oh, that's great
Very
too.
good.
Why don't you check your listen, Robert? Check Fidak's listen, and I can tell you that now from that bottom cargo hold area, you can hear very faintly, and it's coming from. Let me make sure I have this right. Yeah, it's coming from the aft, which is all the way across, but you can very faintly hear. Help! And if you point it out to the others, maybe other roles are possible.
Okay. Listen closely. It sounds like someone crying out for help.
Yes, give me a Dutch roll.
Ooh. I rolled a 9.
Indeed, someone is yelling out for help in Dutch, or I guess at one point they tried English because that's how I yelled at first. They are yelling out for help. And then I need one more listen roll from you, Miss Hawthorne.
46 out of 60.
Dagon.
Dagon.
Dagon?
What does that mean?
The ship lurches again. I want dex rolls from everybody.
Oh, fuck.
Oof.
I made it.
I made it.
Ooh, 66 on 70. Yeah, just barely.
Okay, everybody kind of is able to keep themselves steady, just barely. A bunch of the boxes go rolling down into, you hear them shattering and stuff, as they come flying off where the pig is, down into that big open main bottom cargo hold area, shattering. Yeah, it's a racket. What next?
This is a normal pig, not a boar, correct?
It is not a boar.
It's like
Okay,
a little,
so we're not-
it's like a small pig.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's only a man.
So Calico turns back to the doctor and Miss Hawthorne. Should we keep following the blood?
Yes. We've got to find this man, wherever he is, and punish him for killing our shipmate.
Wait, there's
And for-
somebody calling for help, though. Shouldn't we follow the call for help?
Is the cry for help coming from the same direction as where the blood is leading?
It is.
Oh,
The cry for help and the person with dropping the blood might be one and the same.
Yeah, indeed. He certainly preyed upon our generosity before. I say we go in and pistol everybody we see and then let God sort out his own, or whatever that phrase is.
Okay, are you going down?
yeah, let's
Yes.
go down.
Yes.
As you pass the area with the pig and the cargo, a lot of these boxes have now fallen open because of that shift in the water. And there's this beautifully carved wood. It's very intricately and finely carved with the types of designs you've never seen before. And it looks like it was maybe brought back from the islands, and it looks very valuable. Would you like to continue with your companions, Fidak, or would you like to linger here for a moment?
I have to roll sanity on that, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I got an 18 on, let's see, my sanity is currently 31.
Very good. You succeeded, and you can decide what you'd like to do. Would you like to stick with your companions?
I will stick with my party.
That's great. You take one sanity off of your total, down to 30, because you had to leave these beautiful valuables alone. They look like they would have fetched a huge price back in London. But now you all descend down into the bottom deck. All right. There is blood everywhere down here. And a medicine roll can tell you more about this blood, but I can tell you that the smell is very awful here. And there's cargo that has been opened, rifled through, and unmoored, laying everywhere in a huge mess and jumble down in this bottom hold. Give me that medicine roll, Doctor.
I can indeed. Fucking hell. 82. I missed it. In fact, I'm going to push it because I've got a 70 for medicine.
Go ahead.
Come on.
Oh my god.
I rolled a 98.
Oh, God.
God
So
damn.
here's what happens. The doctor notices something interesting about all this blood down here, and he pushes past both of you, and he runs down into the hold. And doctor, you notice that some of the blood is very fresh, like still wet to the touch, while some of it is like looks to be like a week old. And the week old stuff is like in this like little makeshift camp where there's like rags people were sleeping on and like a makeshift privy. And you turn to tell everybody about it, and that's when the ship shifts again like crazy in the water, and suddenly all of that unmoored cargo starts rolling toward you, and you now need to give me a dodge roll.
All right, here we go. Dodge is half my dex. Ooh, it's not very good. I missed it by 1 point. Can I spend a luck? Is
Certainly
that allowed?
can.
Yeah,
Certainly
okay.
can. That's what the luck is there for.
Then I'm spending another luck point. I'm spending a lot of
You
luck.
barely get out of the way as these heavy boxes go smashing down from where they've been untied. You know, someone's been down here, like making it unsafe, pulling things out, and now it's smashed in front of you. It does not damage you. Very good use of luck. And now I can just tell you a little bit more about this environment down here. Smells awful, covered in blood, and it's just one big room full of cargo, except for there is a door down in the aft section that looks shut. And Miss Hawthorne, who has been making occult rolls the entire time to see how things feel, you are getting a very strong emanation from that door. The hairs on the back of your neck are standing up as you look at it, and somewhere far off you hear the beating of unfamiliar drums.
Gentlemen, there is something very bad behind that door.
I don't doubt it. Well, we've come this far, and I'm not sure I fancy retreating back up through the ship with whatever's behind that door at our rear.
But first, as you approach it, I must tell you that kind of hiding behind some boxes, having just done a terrible job at his stealth roll, is the Dutchman standing and kind of like peeking at you. And a look in his eyes of complete madness.
Fuck me. Right.
And he says in Dutch, "It killed them all. I had to do what it said. It made me. It wants more blood."
Oh.
What did he say?
It wants more blood? I think I'm translating that right. That seems very insane.
I'd like to ready my blunderbuss. Actually, my pistol.
Okay,
At
it's
him.
readied.
I'd look back at the doctor and Miss Hawthorne. What do we do?
I don't.
Come out, friend. Come out here. Friends. Friends.
Interesting. Give me
Put the pistol down.
Oh god, my charm is bad. But I rolled a 9, so I charm the shit out of that dope.
You can check it, and he comes out and he goes, "You hear it too?"
Then I'd like to shoot him, please.
Okay,
With my
go
pistol.
for it.
Now that he's closer and I can see it.
Go for it.
I rolled a 46 against a 65.
You fire, he comes forward and you fire into him.
Boom.
And go ahead and do the damage for it.
Okay, I'm not sure I've got the damage marked on here because I actually didn't have one.
That's okay. I think I have it.
Of the scenario.
Yeah, pistol is 1d6 plus 1.
Yes.
Christ on a bike. So 2. The smallest amount of damage I could do to this guy yet.
Guess what? It's a fight.
He's got
now.
one.
Yeah, of course he's got one. You also
Piss.
see a weird, finely carved axe hanging off of a loop on his belt.
Oh no!
But now I need to know what everyone's dex is. So, what is your dex, Fidak?
70.
And what is your dex, Ms. Hawthorne?
40.
And what is your dex,
60.
Doctor? 60. Okay. And I have if you want to fire that blunderbuss, I know it's not on your sheet, but I have the stats for it right here, Robert. Let's see. I just have to see how my friend here is doing in terms of his decks. Okay, the first person to act is in fact Fidak. You can go first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's on. So I would like to attack him with the blunderbuss.
Go ahead.
All right. So in this game, when you attack, it's an automatic hit.
No, you're going to still roll your skill, and you're going to roll your skill for rifles.
For rifles, okay.
Under firearms, I know that you have you should have some skill on that. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I have bad news, gang. 77 on 45.
You can push.
Push it.
Do
you want to push it? Remember, if you fail again, something bad happens.
I don't. I've been rolling hot. I'm gonna push it.
Go for it.
Oh, farts. Okay, let me just pull the group here because I got a 52 and I'm a 45.
Oh, okay.
I'm down to 30 sanity. Is it worth burning 7 sanity to make that?
It's luck.
It's luck that you'll be burning, not your sanity.
Oh, I got 70 luck. Let's burn it.
Burn it, baby.
Burn
it rain. Make it rain luck.
So I forgot the math there, but however many you need to get to your success level, spend that many. And now I can tell you that your shot, the ship lurches the correct way and corrects your shot, and your musket ball goes blasting out from the front of your blunderbuss, and we follow it via the camera straight into Johan's chest. And what I want you to do is roll your 2d6 damage, please.
Ooh, yummy.
All right, 2d6. Let's see here. 4.
Okay, 4. All right, so he has how many? That didn't do half his his HP damage in one shot. So he's shot and he goes falling back, but he hits the wall and he's still kind of standing up, and he's not in shock or anything because it wasn't enough damage to put him into shock. So now it is the doctor's turn.
Oh, great. I got a free... so my first shot was like a free action, was it?
Yes.
Because it was
Yeah, because you got surprise on him with that little charm trick.
Yes. Okay, I'm trying to think what I can do because I don't want to spend 4 rounds reloading my stupid pistol. So I think I might try and club him with the butt of the pistol. I turn it around in my hand and try and like wallop him.
Go for it. Walk up to him and hit him with the butt of the pistol.
I'm bad at this, but still. I failed at it sensationally.
Okay, you did. Okay, so the doctor runs up and starts struggling with him. And he's like got a flintlock and he's going to try to get it into your face and fire it.
I hope he does not do that.
Well, I told you Cthulhu has a high mortality rate.
It sure does. I was telling the story.
He really super especially doesn't do it. He rolled a 95 on his flintlock skill. Bang! His flintlock goes off, but I must tell everybody that I have some bad news. All these gunshots have shaken free the cargo again. Could everybody please make dex rolls for me?
I got a 16. Oh, a 19.
I got a 73. Is it worth burning 3 more luck to? Is this like
yes, you got
I
loads of luck.
Dex, and I should have said dodge. I know that still allows. I think Miss Hawthorne to make her dodge roll. Because
it probably means that Robert and I should re-roll our rolls because we were rolling for dex and not for dodge.
You probably should. You should roll for your dodge. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that. I'm being.
I think that is proper, actually, Humph. Yes, please roll your dodge.
All right.
I understood the subtext of what you were saying the whole time.
Thank you.
I still failed.
I
You still
passed
fail.
as a result of
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
This is
so
ridiculous.
Miss Hawthorne and Dr. McCorkadale are fine, but suddenly this enormous box comes down, smashing into our Marine Fidak, and he takes 1d8 damage from it.
Ooh.
Could be real ouchy.
Yeah.
And good news, I rolled a 1, so I think it kind of clipped your arm. And let's see. Oh, I didn't see how our man did. He did great. He also dodged.
Good for him.
So it's up to you now. It's up to you now, Miss Hawthorne. He's still struggling with the doctor. What are you going to do?
Will him struggling with the doctor mean that I'm less likely to hit him? Like, does that put the doctor in danger? I don't have very good on either shooting or, frankly, with my parasol.
No, it's true. You do have one other offensive capability available to you, and I can tell you that has pretty fine targeting.
Okay. I will open my tiny Victorian purse, pull out my mother's spell book, and cast
Oh!
She's casting Smite Down Thy Enemy. Yes. All you have to do is tell me how many magic points you're spending. And you need to roll 1d6 because that's how many sanity points you're going to lose.
Okay. How messed up is this guy looking? Is he close to death or
very messed up?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll just use 1 magic point on him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's 2d10 per magic point.
Yeah, and I'm going to rule that you're within 30 feet already, so you don't need to spend any magic points to increase the range either.
Great. So I lose. It's 1d. It's a. Wait.
Go ahead and roll the damage first, the 2d10, and then we'll get into your sanity.
Great. So that's 12 damage.
Okay, so I think that Miss Hawthorne pulls out the spell book. Is it verbal? What do you do? Well, I'm asking you.
Me as a player. Yes.
Yeah.
I speak in a strange and ancient Proto-Celtic language, saying, "I smite thee down, evil one."
The pages of her book go, and suddenly there's like this light that sort of emanates from her and all around through the hold, and suddenly just this like incredible, massive psychic force smashes into the Dutchman, blasting him back away from the doctor. You see blood squirt out of his eyes and out of his nose as his eyeballs just pop, and then he falls to the ground dead.
Sorry, that was so unladylike.
It really was. And you know what's even more unladylike? Did you roll your d6 to see how much sanity you lost from casting?
I lost 4 sanity.
Oh, that's just below the chance of going temporarily insane. You still have control of your character. And now I will tell you, Dr. McCorkadale, the strange talisman that you have on you that we have not mentioned until now, but your character carries something with him. What is it?
I do. I have a carved narwhal's horn.
Yes, a carved narwhal's horn that you found on your
taboo.
voyages. I can tell you that it is now vibrating inside of your pocket. And with your recent spell usage, Miss Hawthorne, you also feel an incredible amount of energy coming from that door on the other side of the hold.
Does it feel like it's sort of fed on my spell energy?
Oh, absolutely. You feel that energy kind of being siphoned from you toward that room.
Ooh, I'd like to reload my pistol, please.
Done.
And I would like to reload my blunderbuss. How far back was the fancy, beautiful looking wood from where we are now?
It's just right up the stairs.
While I'm loading, I hear something strange. Let me investigate. And I kind of just walk back towards that wood.
Okay. You guys are probably like, what the fuck is going on with the Marine?
I'm just
which is fine.
Blood out of my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably having a reaction to your witchcraft.
Yeah,
Governor Hawthorne.
I kind of just give him I think I heard something. Let me just check. Let me check.
Okay.
Head back.
I'm rummaging in my doctor's bag, and I just very openly, just like, just.
Are you going to go on without him, or are you going to wait for him?
I think we should wait for him.
So-
I would like to inspect the body of the man we now know is called Johannes. We never asked his name.
Oh, did I just
Rude.
yell it? Johann Borst was his name. And you go through his effects, and he is carrying this beautifully carved axe that's about hatchet size. It's got ornate wooden carvings and a big green stone for a blade, and it's almost dull. Yeah.
Can I do an occult check on this axe? I feel like we shouldn't even touch it. Maybe.
I think
You
that's
may.
a good idea.
Yeah, I got a 28 over 65.
This axe is okay. This axe is just a ritual weapon of whatever people they were visiting. You don't see any occult markings or danger from it.
Very well.
Okay.
You are grabbing some are you having some sticky finger time, Fidak?
Yeah, is this something I could pocket?
Unfortunately, the things are quite large, and yes, you can like put them into your jacket, but you're going to be a bit encumbered. But we said before that you could go ahead and not steal them. You made your sand roll. Do you want to take them anyway now? They are worth, I can tell you, probably if you sold them later, maybe thousands of pounds, depending on if you grab the right stuff. Do you have anthropology?
Let me look.
No.
I do. I have 1. Should I roll against that?
No, I wouldn't bother. Tell me if you'd like to grab some or no.
I feel like we have a big fight ahead. I look at Jacob. We give each other kind of a sad look, a little defeated, and we jog.
Use appraise.
Oh, appraise. Okay.
Yeah, you have appraise. I'm so sorry. That would have been a better skill to ask you about.
Ooh, big fail. 95.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure how valuable these things would be. So tell me, what does he decide?
Jacob and I just kind of share a sad look and resigned. We jog back to the others. Coast is clear. Nothing was there.
And so you're left with the door down here in the hold.
Is there anything strange about this door other than the vibe that we're getting from it? Is there anything carved into it or blood?
Not at all. It looks like the normal. Yeah, Miss Hawthorne might not know because she's not accustomed to sailing, but sometimes down in a hold they'll have a room for valuable goods that they don't want to just keep out with the main crates and things like that. It doesn't appear to be locked or anything. So let me know.
Can I do a listen check to see are we still hearing the drumming? Is there anything else?
Okay.
Let's listen.
Yes,
Big
please.
fail. 84.
I got a 46 out of 60.
95.
I think Miss Hawthorne can hear coming from inside.
Sounds like there's somebody behind it.
I can't hear anything. My ears are full of Johann's brains and eyes.
I deeply apologize.
Well, I'd like to cock my flintlock and boot the door open.
You boot the door open. And what you immediately see is a crate. And on that crate sits an idol, leering at the investigators with what seems to be unwholesome intent. The idol is carved out of a single piece of ivory or like a tooth. And surrounding the idol are the bodies of the crew that stayed aboard the Magog. There is blood everywhere. The heads of the bodies have been removed and the hands have been severed. And they are all arranged in a special, like, where their arms all drape over each other. Not their hands are gone, but their arms drape over each other in the same way. And their bodies have been formed into kind of like a ring, like a geometric shape. Everybody needs to make a sand roll for me.
Is this a thing that we can re-roll?
Sand is not something that you can re-roll.
I
Boy,
failed.
I failed so badly. I rolled a 97.
Okay.
I failed. I rolled an 87.
Sanity.
I also failed.
Okay. Here we go. Dr. McCorkadale, you take 5 sanity loss. And
I go cuckoo bananas.
Not yet. We're gonna find out in a second. Fidak, you take 3 sanity loss.
Thanks.
And Miss Hawthorne, you take 5 sanity loss. Now, Dr. McCorkadale and Miss Hawthorne need to make idea rolls. And this is one you do not want to succeed at. Because if you succeed at this one, you do go temporarily insane.
I have really high intelligence.
Me too. I'm putting my glasses on upside down to show
Can I
that
use
I've
luck
gone
points on
crazy.
Can I
Say-
use luck points on this?
No, you may not. Not on this.
Ugh, I rolled a 61 and my intelligence is 70.
So you did make it, unfortunately. And did you make it, Doctor?
No, I've got insane. That's why I put my glasses on upside down to show I've got insane.
No. Okay. So you made your idea roll.
Oh,
Like,
yes, sorry.
Okay.
I succeeded, and I'm very, this
When you
is a
take
horrible
5
thing. to
or
do.
more sanity loss from one image, then you make an idea roll, which means you understand what you're looking at. And you guys are now absolutely sure that the idol has caused all this. And you can even hear it whispering to you and telling you that it is on its way, that it is coming, that it has found you. The idol is saying this to you in your mind. And I can tell you now that you can make a medicine roll, but actually you can't because you've gone nuts. How do you think McCorkadale is going to behave in his insanity?
I've got a good idea. We should go to the powder store on the ship and blow the whole thing up.
That sounds like a good idea to me. This
It
ship
is a
is
good
bad.
idea, isn't it?
Oh.
Follow us.
Fidak, what are you going to do? You do not have to follow them, but they are off. They're running off to the powder store.
I would like to shoot the idol with my blunderbuss.
Very good. You aim your blunderbuss and you fire at the idol. Go ahead and roll for it. Let's see if something interesting happens.
Gosh darn it. 82.
Okay,
I
that's-
missed.
Let me tell you what this means. It's an idol that's sitting there, and you can just tell there's something wrong with it, and that all these bodies have been murdered for this thing. You're not sure why or how, but you know you hate it. So you aim your blunderbuss and you fire at it, and of course you hit it. It's just a little idol sitting there. But what you realize is among the bodies there was one man still alive that you didn't notice before, who still had his head. And right before you pull your trigger, he goes, "Dagon!" And then you blow the idol and his head off. Make another sanity roll for that.
Oh, no. I failed. 83.
Okay.
3 nutters on a ship.
You just took 5 as well. So I need you to make an idea roll.
Oh, who am I? Humphrey, I rolled a 97. Oh, wait, no, it's good though.
That's good. You want to fail.
Good.
Yeah.
You are
Okay, yeah.
in control of your character. You have a ridiculously low 25 sanity, but Fidak is still stealing and shooting.
22 sanity.
22. You are still in control of yourself. So that's kind of awesome. Being unintelligent sometimes is great in Call of Cthulhu. Your character, of course, is who I mean. Okay, so what's next? The powder store, of course. Yes, the powder store. You find after you. Well, what would you like to do, Fidak? Let's stick with you for a moment. After you have blown this man apart, you see his body flop onto the crate, and he's wearing a captain's uniform. This must have been the captain that created the log.
Are the doctor and Miss Hawthorne still within eyesight?
They are. They're kind of going through stuff down here in this main hold, and they are perhaps realizing that there is no powder store because this is a merchant ship and does not have cannon.
Okay. If that's the case, then yeah, I would like to investigate the captain and his body. See if I can check his pockets.
Yeah, when you check his pockets, you're just getting like covered in blood. I mean, you're just like rifling through the body of a man who's head you just blew off. He did have his arms kind of lopped off and then like crudely like clamped like to staunch the bleeding. Like he would have been dead from shock or something soon anyway, but it doesn't make this any more pleasant. You find almost nothing on him, which makes you think that maybe these pockets were rifled through by someone else before. I'm going to go to, but you know what though? One thing that wasn't taken is a beautiful medal that he probably received from the Dutch government. You're not sure what it is. Do you have any history skill at all?
Let me look. History. It is no 5. I mean, I can roll on it, but
it looks valuable. It looks like he was an important guy for some reason, so you could take that with you. But that's the only thing that he has. I'm going to go back to the doctor and Miss Hawthorne, who are trying to figure out a way to destroy the ship. And the moment you realize that there is no powder store, how are you going to destroy the ship? What are you going to do?
I know something.
The axe.
That's what. Oh, we should go and knock the stopcocks off in the bottom of the boat and scuttle the whole ship. You don't need powder to sink a ship, do you, Miss Hawthorne?
No, I don't think you do.
Great. So you have the axe. It was just like laying there near the body of Borst, the guy that you shot earlier. And so the stopcocks is what you mentioned.
Yes, that's right. That's how you pump all the water out of the bottom of the ship. But if you just knock them off, then all the water just comes in through them and you sink.
So, in fact, you're both able to find one of these axes because, like, some of them fell out of those boxes that came down from the upper level. They had a lot of those beautiful art objects, and there were more axes among them. So, Fidak, when you come back out into the hold, you find, like, on the far end at the stopcocks, you find that Miss Hawthorne and the doctor are just whacking at this thing. And can I have strength rolls from both of you?
I am not very strong.
hey, I have a question. How long does insanity last in this game?
Only a couple minutes if it's a 5 sanity loss temporary insanity. So for these guys, it's only going to last 6 minutes. So they're going to come to their senses in a moment.
I rolled a 97.
I rolled a 95.
Oh, bad rolls finally coming through for us.
They are. So Fidak, would you like to say something to them and maybe like snap them out of it?
Yes, I absolutely would. So I would like to approach the doctor and just slap across the face, grab him by the shoulders, say, get a hold of yourself. All right? We're going to get off the ship, but you're going to kill us if you sink it. Let's go. I look at Hawthorne. Quit axing the ship. We need to leave.
And where to now, everybody?
You just struck an officer.
Yeah. And you tried to sink us.
You could be hanged for this. Fidak.
I smacked them both.
Does anybody want to like poke them in the eye and I could make some sound effects?
Listen, the two of you went absolutely crazy as soon as we got near that idol. But I shot it with the blunderbuss, blew it to pieces. Unfortunately, the captain was behind the idol. And, some of the scatter shot got him as well. And it doesn't look like he's going to pull through.
Jacob is running up the steps out of the hold.
Yeah, let's.
Can I do an occult check to see if destroying the idol changed the magical atmosphere of the ship?
I will allow it.
Thank you. I got a 99. Get out of here. We have to run.
You're pretty disoriented still. Yes, you all run up onto the main deck, and I can tell you that when you finally breach the top out into the open air, it is a full gale. It is a full storm that is blowing. It is ripping at the mast. The ship is lurching back and forth. And you, let's see. Yes, there it is. It's a full storm. You can just barely see the conclusion, hundreds of yards off from this ship. and you need to make spot hidden rolls as you look through this gale.
Where's John Titus?
Ooh.
Fucking, I missed that.
I got a 2.
A 2?
Yes.
I got a 10.
Great. Here's what you see, Fidak and Miss Hawthorne, as you look up through the storm. For a second, the rolling waves part, and you can tell now that the Magog is headed straight for some kind of object sticking up out of the sea, very pointed, 30 feet tall, and it's going straight toward it. It has a familiar shape of something that maybe you've seen. It's got this just like sharp kind of tooth at the top of it, and
Does
that
it look like the idol?
it does, and that's when it moves. And you need both of you to make sanity rolls.
Ha!
No.
Pretty sweet. I missed that spot hidden roll.
I got a
I
6.
failed. 48.
Okay, and you succeeded.
I succeeded. I got a 6.
Okay, so you take 1.
Okay.
And Fidak, you take. Oh my God, you lucky bastard! You take 1. You could have taken a lot more than that. So this is less of a mind-numbing cosmic horror and more of a problem that needs to be solved right away. What would you guys like to do?
Where is the ship's cutter alongside with the bosun in it?
It totally isn't.
Mm.
Can we turn the ship? I'm not much of a ship person.
Yes, when you ask that, Miss Hawthorne, Fidak, what do you have to tell her?
Yeah, you know what? I can do that. I've experience steering a ship. So I would like to scoop
you do
up-
remember something, Fidak. Those lines that were all broken at the front of the ship. The ship is not quite operable right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a good news, bad news, Miss Hawthorne. I can steer the ship, but unfortunately it's going to need those repairs I mentioned earlier.
Oh, no.
So
But I'm afraid that there is no time for the repairs now because something is looming toward you out of the waves, 30 feet tall. What is it? You can barely see it. The doctor hasn't even noticed it yet. What would you like to do?
Ah.
I don't know if I want to spot anything hidden anymore. I'm too low on sanity.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way of getting off the ship. There's no way of steering the ship.
Well, there's one way off the ship.
Over the
That's a
side.
bad way.
Can,
That's a bad
can
way.
we see?
It's not a
can
great
we see
way,
the-
I'll admit.
Can we see the conclusion anywhere?
Yes, you can. It is like, 500 yards off, and it's kind of also, but now that you see it, why don't you make a pilot boat roll for me, Fidak?
Okay. Pilot boat. No, horrific fail. 85 on a 1.
Okay. Oh, you have a 1. Okay, if you have a 1, don't even bother.
Don't even bother rolling. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could roll a 1, but yeah.
It's happened.
All I can tell you is that it looks like it's moving away from you.
Oh, God.
Those bastards.
Ah,
The fucking Koban.
yeah, can I do an occult check on the idol to see if my magic would do anything against it?
You mean the thing coming out of
Thing
the?
coming out of the
Yeah. Well, you could cast your spell if you'd like. I'll tell you what. Make an occult check. Yeah, make an occult check.
When you say a thing, is it is it a creature?
I mean, you'll know in just a second.
I got a 39 over 65.
That's great. You feel a very strong emanating force coming from inside of the doctor's jacket.
There's something that you have. The
My narwhal horn? I'm so
Yes.
sorry, I had a big mouth of chocolate just as you
Okay.
came to me.
The doctor pulls out this narwhal horn that's been carefully covered in sigils that have been carved by some, tribe of the Pacific, or the far Pacific North, and he pulls it out. And when you see it, you immediately realize that it is a protective talisman.
Can I? Do I know how to use this protective talisman?
You probably do. Are you going to grab it?
Yes.
Miss Hawthorne takes the narwhal horn, but as she turns, now it's impossible not to see as an enormous creature that sort of crudely fits the image of the idol, but is now in true flesh and form, like a horned fish god, a thing with rolling eyes and a huge open throat that keeps opening and closing with a strange valve, and enormous like webbed arms, smashes down into the deck. And now I'm afraid that Dr. McCorkadale and all of you must make one last sanity roll to see it.
Oof, I just made it. 64.
I have never
17.
Never rolled more 90 plus rolls in anything I've ever done. 98. I mean,
Okay.
my brain boils out of my ears.
I need an idea roll from you again.
And the good news is I'm very clever, so I always understand these things. I rolled an 87 on my 80. Yay!
You fail. You just take the sand damage, which will be 4, and you can continue operating. And that is when you can attempt to use this talisman, Miss Hawthorne. Do you want to try?
Yes.
Give me a power roll.
Okay.
How that bitch?
Do I want to get high or low?
You want to succeed, so you want to roll under your power.
I have such good power, and I do not. Can I re-roll? Is this a thing that I can push?
Now this feels like one to push.
Great. Yes, I got a 26.
Very good. Okay. Let's see. You lose some magic points. Let's see how many you lose. So you feel yourself using all of your magical power to do this. You lose 5 magic points, and as you do that, the talisman like reaches out with some sort of psychic power, and you see the thing above you like it was smashing into the deck, but then it just sort of like turns away from you and starts to sink beneath the waves. And as it does that, this narwhal horn in your hand splinters into pieces and crumbles in your hands. And now the thing is lowering itself again down into the sea.
Doctor, I'm terribly sorry for destroying your beautiful artifact.
It cost me £2 and 3 shillings.
I cannot in any circumstance pay it back.
And as the thing lowers itself back down into the water, suddenly the winds begin to calm. Suddenly, the boat stops rocking.
Can we signal to the ship?
Now, when you look off to the conclusion, you see that it was indeed kind of moving away through the waves, that it's gained distance, but you can't signal to them again. Would you like to?
Yes, I'd like to give it another pistol shot. We're within shot sound of them?
I think so.
Yeah. Bang.
Bang. A long minute passes, and then from the conclusion, you hear, a little like recognized shot and a little flag go, and soon you see the dinghy being lowered into the water, and it start to move toward you.
Very good. I'm glad.
We did it.
And now we come to our epilogue. You're finishing your tale at the Neptune. Yeah.
Everyone agreed that I had been the most brave and the coolest throughout the entire thing.
Because the idol was destroyed, everybody can roll 1d10 and add that to their sanity points.
Yes, please.
1d10.
10, baby.
5.
Booyah.
9.
Now, it can't go past your original total.
That takes me back to my original total.
Good.
Yeah, same here. 30.
And did anyone bring anything with them from the ship?
I brought the captain's medal in my pocket.
Okay.
I have the axe.
Ah, yes, the axe. And you are here at this meeting. Maybe it's a year later, maybe several years later, and you bring out the axe and show it to everybody at the meeting, and you're like,
It's true.
and they take this axe and they tell you to follow them, the members of this Neptune society. They open a door behind the marrow and they walk you up some stairs into kind of a beautiful club room. It looks like a gentleman's club hall above this salty sea tavern. And they take you through a side door where there are many strange things under glass. And they open one of the glass exhibition stations, and they put into it your carved Melanesian axe that still has a bit of dried blood on it from where you freed it from the mad seaman. And you have been granted membership in the Neptune Society for your adventure. So that is where we will end for today. And I will thank my players again. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. This is so fun.
Yeah, that was a blast. Thank you.
You guys were amazing. Thank you guys for playing. We could also roll to see if your skills improve. Would you like to do that really quickly?
Sure.
Okay. So if you have a skill that I told you to check, shout it out, and you're going to try to roll over it with your D10s to see if it improves.
I have Dutch library and psychology.
Let's just pick one for right now. Which one do you feel most excited about?
Oh, definitely psychology.
Go ahead and try to roll over your current psychology skill.
I did, not by much, but I did. I got to 22.
And that means you can roll a D10 and add that much to it.
Great. 6.
And Robert, what are you rolling for?
I have listen, mechanical repair, and spot hidden, so I would like to roll for spot hidden.
Very good. It's an important skill in Call of Cthulhu. Go ahead and roll over it.
Farts. I got a 1.
Oh, really? I'm afraid your spot hidden doesn't improve from this adventure, but perhaps those other skills will improve if you come back again for another Neptune Society adventure. And Humphrey. You're muted.
You're muted.
Is it probably because you were in chocolate mode?
Ich liebe Schokolade. I'm going to do my psychology, which is a 10. I rolled a 64. And
Great.
So I improved it by 9.
Oh, that's excellent.
Up to 19.
Thank you guys again so much. Your characters all improved. You guys all survived, which is huge.
Wait, Jared, quick question. Are we, when you roll for a skill, you first roll to see if you actually bump it up?
So yeah, first you try to roll. So if I told you to check it, first you try to roll over it. And if you do, you improve it by 1d10.
Oh, okay. Let me. No, still came up short. Never mind.
That's okay. We'll talk more about it later because I'd love to have you guys all back for more adventures since your characters survived. I didn't know if they were going to at first.
They did. And Jared, I want to say great job on only
Yes.
mildly inaccurately talking about the ships of the age.
Hey, great.
It was a real 6 out of 10 effort. The game, 10 out of 10. Just the nautical geography was fine.
Hey, you know what? That's what YouTube videos and comments and Twitch channels are for. Open up on me about that,
Yeah,
nautical
please,
fan.
really
People that
tear
know
into
how
it.
the ship works.
Tell
me what I got wrong, and guess what?
Seemed to think that the wheel was on the poop deck when we all know it would be on the main deck, but that's fine.
Yaw and list. Those are good words to learn. Yaw and
That's
list.
good. That's good. Okay, I like churn and turn and tilt, but all right, fair enough.
Okay, that's fine.
Anybody else have any constructive criticism?
I thought you did very well, Jared.
Thank you, Robert.
Oh,
Well, I appreciate
What a
that.
teacher's pet.
Well, look, maybe next time the adventure will take place on an island or something that doesn't have a lot of technical parts and a full glossary to go with it.
Actually, in the Navy, we call islands something different, but that's
Oh no!
Yeah.
Guys, thanks. I hope to have you all back soon. Right now, I'm going to say goodbye to my players. Thanks again, guys. Check them out. Humphrey Ker, Robert Buckley, Siobhan Thompson. Find them on Twitter or wherever they're at and look at their stuff. And we're going to have them back on the show as soon as we can. that's it for our first episode of the Neptune Society. And I would love it if anybody has any questions, shoot them at me now. While I'm waiting for those, I'm just going to remind everybody that it's 6 p.m. on Wednesday. That's 6 p.m. Pacific time. We are starting chapter 7 of our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Vampires of Pittsburgh, this coming Wednesday. That's part 7. Boy, the game is really heating up. There was a fight with a werewolf last time. So it's pretty hot. Be sure to check that out. Come and watch. You should be able to follow along even if you haven't watched the first 6 parts on YouTube. But we keep our episodes to 2 hours, so it is actually manageable and doable if you wanted to catch up. But even if you haven't, you can watch chapter 7, and I will recap enough that you know what's going on. And I'll also say that these episodes of the Neptune Society will all be standalone, done in 1s or 2-parters, so that people can easily watch one show and hear the whole story. Adam says, Adam Conover. Hi, Adam. You going to do a Neptune? I'm going to force Adam to do a Neptune Society adventure. Absolutely. We're going to make him do it, whether he wants to or not. Yeah, so because Humphrey was, Dr. McCorkadale, rather, was failing his Latin rolls, he missed some things in that log that would have let them know a little bit more about the backstory and the fact that the guy at the wheel was a bit dangerous. But that's about the only thing that there were a couple other things. There were a couple other clues that let you know that the danger wasn't really from a monster, but from a person who had been driven mad by an idol. But the dice were not in their favor today. And yet still they survived. So I don't know. It was exciting. It was fun. We knew that there were like 2 ships because we needed a way for this like big merchant man to have a lot of the crew to have abandoned it and for it to make sense. And it made sense they had a sister ship to escape to. So I was like, what would be a cool name for 2 ships? Oh, Gog and Magog.
Also, like Gog and Magog are always referenced as bad guy things. Like there's cannibalism in that story. It's just a good horror trope.
That's our secret keeper, Clint. Thank you, Clint. You can hang out. Oh, I'm alone again.
I'm back.
Great. Are there any more questions? Oh, had the captain been saved, would he potentially have? Yes, so he could come back as a handless player character because his arms were lopped off, but he would have become an NPC and they would have gotten even more of a sanity bonus for having saved him. And if you play Call of Cthulhu, you need all those sanity bonuses so that your character can continue to be operational for many adventures.
You had an
Go ahead.
incredible thing in the notes that didn't come up that we can't reuse, so we may as well share it, right?
Yes, go. Yeah, let's tell them about it.
Oh, what? I will, or you can?
I can. So if they had found Borst's cabin, because he was the first mate, and that was some of the clue in the log that they missed, that the first mate, the captain was suspicious of the first mate. They would have found a Bible in Borst's cabin, and the story of Dagon when the idol of Dagon was the Ark of the Covenant was taken into the temple of Dagon by, what is it, the Ashdenites or something in the Bible?
Philistines.
The Philistines, thank you. The Ark of the Covenant is taken to the temple of Dagon by the Philistines, and when that happens, the statue of Dagon falls the first night, and the Philistines put their idol to Dagon back up, and the next night in the Bible it says that the idol fell and that its head and hands were lopped off when it fell. And then the Bible that they find this in would have had scrawled words all over it, Lügen, 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 which means lies in Dutch. It would have let you know that the first mate had gone completely bonkers and was probably the main villain that they needed to watch out for.
I love this question.
Oh, man. I have not played Oberdin. I have watched a playthrough. That is how nerdy I am. I will sit and watch video games be played on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Return of the Obra Dinn will go into all of these Neptune Society adventures in some way, shape, or form.
And I played Obra Dinn, and boy, oh boy, that's what was on my mind when we were describing what we were doing.
Yep, absolutely. I think that it is really easy to learn the rules, and sometimes D&D players do not want to learn new rules. Learning new rules is tough, and it really takes like 6 sessions of a game for everybody to start knowing rules, like to where they don't have to check them the whole time. Cthulhu will not give you that problem. The Cthulhu rules are very streamlined, straightforward, and easy to remember. The problem you might have is players' mindset, because in Cthulhu, the idea is not to conquer the monsters in the scenario, defeat them, gather loot. The idea is to survive and to learn, or not in that order, actually, learn and survive, right? So even though I would say in this adventure they didn't quite learn everything, they did survive. They did manage to survive. Sometimes D&D players have trouble with that because they're trying to win the scenario. It depends, though. Like every D&D group is different, so some groups would not have a problem with that.
Here on the Stream Blood, we've run another game called Mothership, whose sort of motto is solve, save, survive, pick one. Mm-hmm. And Cthulhu is definitely closer to that than it is D&D.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think we've had done a good little Q&A. Thanks, everybody.
Great. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, Vampires of Pittsburgh, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we'll see you right back here next week at 1:30 p.m. for our next session of the Neptune Society. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Shub Nagurath, Cthulhu Fetagin.